It's still weird for me to say this, but it is true. Jack Hughes, Casey Middlestat, Brock Besser, and company have led the Columbus Blue Jackets back to the playoffs. Obviously, at the start of the year, we didn't know for sure if we were going to keep Brock Besser, and it became clear that that was the better way to go, at least in terms of short-term success. Now, whether or not it's just a one-season kind of deal, and then we flip him as was originally planned, who's to say? But at 48, 24, and 10, and a division title to our credit, it made all the sense in the world to move forward and keep him on this team up until the draft. This is one of our best seasons ever, if not our best season ever. Certainly not what we were expecting. But now that we're in the playoffs, despite that little bit of pessimism and I guess expecting things to go wrong, we're still here. And we still have one of the best opportunities to win on paper. On paper, as we have found out in this series, doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot, especially when you have to go up against a team like this in the first round, which is incredibly well-rounded. The top line for the Caps, Nick Ritchie, Nathan MacKinnon, and Martin Ferk, who ended up being an 84 overall. Second line of Dylan Larkin, so we got a bit of a Red Wings theme going on. Nick Schmaltz and Cole Lind. I don't need to explain the legend known as Cole Lind to anybody who has been a follower of this channel for over the past year or so. Victor Glebov, Xavier Perrant, and Cam Atkinson make up the third line. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Adam Henrique, and Keegan Kolsar are the fourth line. Obviously, that's an incredibly well-rounded team. And defensively, they are also quite well-rounded. Hayden Fleury on the top pairing with Rasmus Ristolainen, Shea Theodore with Ryan Pulock, and Dennis Cholowski with Keaton Thompson. The big question for me, of course, is the goaltender. And while it's not the best goaltender we've ever faced in terms of an 85 overall Michael DiPietro, I'm sure, is more than capable of knocking us out of the playoffs. He is coming off of his best season yet in the NHL. It's his third year as a starter at 26 years old. Gabriel Velarde, Sergei Zaborovsky, and Shane Gersich are the healthy scratches. So the problem I see here is that I'm almost, like, I recognize the threat that the Capitals present, but I'm still just so worried about our team. I can't help but shake the feeling of something's going to go wrong. Up until the moment that we're raising the Stanley Cup, I'm going to have that feeling of something's going to go wrong. And even then, I'm going to have the feeling that, well, who knows, maybe my power will go out before I can save this video. So, who's to say what's going to happen on this postseason runs? These are the lines, of course, that we're starting with. No guarantee that this will be the line combos that we finish this series with, particularly if things go poorly. But with that said, it's time to get things started. The Blue Jackets are back in the postseason. Team USA back in the postseason. What can we do, though, now that we're here? Will Brock Besser and company falter, as they have on so many different occasions, or will we live up to our potential? Let's find out. First period of Game 1. And we have the 2-1 lead. Nathan MacKinnon scored 52 seconds in. Trent Frederick and Yandel get us back into this game. 16 shots to 6 in our favor. 2-1 on the board. So we obviously ended up dropping Frederick down. How he responds to that, I'm intrigued. And so far, so good as he gets the goal. Second period, not what we were looking for as Glebov ties it. 2 apiece, 21 shots to 17. They really shut us down offensively in that period. Third period, of course, we will look to improve. I should note as well, I updated the power play as Larkin scores, because of course he does. I updated the power play a little bit, which was kind of poor. Our penalty kill, of course, was the best in the league, We killed off that penalty there. 5 minutes to go. Will we blow a 2-1 lead? Yes, we will. 2 goals in the first period and nothing thereafter. Gleboff and Larkin with the goals. And the Caps take game 1. Ryan Pulock with a 3-assist night, 25 saves for Michael DiPietro. And that is obviously not the ideal start. To note as well, Cleveland Monsters playing the Manitoba Moose. We'll follow along with them. Cleveland wins game 1. So not bad. We may end up having to follow them deeper into a playoff run than the main squad, which of course is not ideal, but we'll see what happens. I am going to jump into game 2 before contemplating any line changes. Let's see how it goes. First period of game 2, and again, that's not ideal. Larkin with the goal as we are struggling for offense. Second period, still struggling for offense. We have been shut out for 4 consecutive periods now as we begin the third period of game 2, down 1-0. And that's what I was worried about. Finally, the streak is snapped. It began with Yandel, and it ends with Yandel. As we have tied this one up, we're halfway through the third period. We're getting crushed in shots, but we're still tied. 4 minutes to go. Can we hold on? We are going to overtime. Let's do it. Let's jump into it. Let's see what happens. I don't know what the hell to expect here. Needless to say, I am quite nervous. 5 minutes. I don't know if this will be 5-on-5 or 3-on-3. I've lost track with some of the series that we've had. I think Seattle was the 3-on-3. No, Seattle was the 5-on-5. I can't remember what series had the 3-on-3 on that one occasion. It's not this. 5-on-5, overtime. Let's do this. Can we get the win, or will we be facing a 2-0 series deficit heading to Washington for the first time in the series? Tkachuk dumps the puck in deep. Hayden Fleury's there. Besser giving chase. He can't get there. Ferk on the back check loses it to Tkachuk. Tkachuk recovers, gets it to Besser. 2-on-2. Brock Besser tries the saucer pass across. He could not get it to McAvoy. Nathan McKinnon here for the Caps. Stepping in. Tries to find Ritchie. He turns it over to Brady Tkachuk. On the rush, Tkachuk turns it over. Besser fighting for it, loses it to McKinnon. Here's Nick Ritchie yet again. Ritchie stepping in, drop back. Fleury, Ristolainen. Looks to shoot, broken up by Oliver Wahlstrom, and now here's Tkachuk yet again. Stepping in over the blue line, cuts into the middle. Brady Tkachuk tries to shoot, broken up. Wahlstrom's there, broken up again. Still loose in front of DiPietro. Ristolainen battling. Wahlstrom gets destroyed. Middlestat can't get a strong shot on goal. Wahlstrom takes that gigantic hit for nothing. But a decent chance there early on. Oliver Wahlstrom gets absolutely destroyed. Unfortunately. Redmond, Middlestat, and Wahlstrom are out against Larkin, Schmaltz, and Cole Lind. See what we can do here. Can Middlestat get the offensive zone victory? He cannot. He recovers, though. Wahlstrom has trouble. Still battling for it. Deflected in front. Loose puck. Schmaltz is able to be poked away to the sideboards where Larkin recovers. He carries into the neutral zone. Cross to Lind. Big save. Loose puck. Redmond recovers. And here comes Middlestat. Drops back for Wahlstrom. The Blue Jackets on the counterattack. Here's Oliver Wahlstrom. Windmills in. Finds Quinn Hughes. Pass to Middlestat. Casey Middlestat. Redmond scores! Redmond snipes it! What a shot! Figured there was no way that was going in. And I was proven wrong. Redmond scores the overtime winner. And the Blue Jackets, Team USA, have tied this series. Look at this shot from Redmond. Just pots it perfectly. Such a small window in which he needed to find space. He did. We have tied this series up at 1 game apiece. That is pure nightmare fuel. I don't care what anybody says. And we go to Washington tied at 1 game apiece, which you know, I'm okay with. The slight advantage still goes to the Caps for taking a game on the road, but we at least have avoided complete disaster by not dropping both games to start this series. So while I'm still not feeling optimistic about this, while I'm still waiting for this to potentially go wrong, we are where we want to be. You know, in fairness, yeah, the angle was off. He had more space there than I thought he did. Oh, wow, that went off the blocker. Off the blocker, top shelf. Damn. Unfortunate. Timmins, Redmond, and Yandel, your 3 stars for this game. And admittedly, I'm going to take a look. I think it might be worth it. I'm going to take a look at the lines and maybe mix some things up. I mean, we have 4 goals in 2 games. Not exactly setting the world on fire. We will take a look at the scouting. And let's see, where else do we want to go here? Where else do we want to go? 3 times, 2 times, what the hell? To be honest, I don't remember where the hell I left off with this. I'm going to go back to the States for 3 weeks because I don't know where the hell I left off. Cleveland drops game 2 to the Moose. Let's see what we're looking at here, line combos wise, and who might be underperforming so far. So that top line has been completely ineffective. The second line hasn't been great. The third line hasn't been great. No one's been great. Oh boy, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it then. Given the circumstances, it's just nobody's been that good. Third pairing's been roughed up a little bit. I'm going to give the team a chance here. It's a little bit of a risk to not make any moves for game 3. But basically everyone's underperforming to this point. Maybe they can find a way to get it going. Wishful thinking. For once in a Blue Jackets postseason run. In fairness, this team hasn't exactly earned wishful thinking. But that's the way the game goes. Speaking of games. Game 3. First period, let's get into it, and it is scoreless. A defensive battle, 12 shots to 11 in our favor, but certainly not much of an advantage. Second period, also scoreless, 22 shots to 19 as we begin the third period. Let's do it. Early power play chance, and Jack Hughes gets the goal. All right, that's good. Let's not get too excited. That's why Nathan MacKinnon scores just under 4 minutes later. Another power play chance for the Blue Jackets. That one passes us by. We're starting to get a little bit of separation in terms of shots on goal. 4 minutes left. Next goal wins. Power play. Please let that be the winner. Please. Yes. I don't know if that's enough to single-handedly redeem Brock Boeser. I don't think that's enough for the copious amounts of disappointment that he has handed us throughout this series. But scoring the game-winning goal on the power play in the third period of Game 3 to give us a 2-1 series lead is a start. 40 shots to 28. 2-1 final. Someone's car alarm's going off. I'm going to consider that to be celebratory. More than anything, the Blue Jackets have battled back from that Game 1 defeat. We have a 2-1 series lead. Brock Boeser with the game winner as the Monsters have dropped 2 straight. They are in trouble, as could the Caps. They could be. If they drop this game, we're jumping right into Game 4. There's no changes to be made, at least not yet, and hopefully not at all. First period of Game 4. And it's scoreless yet again. We doubled them up in shots, 14-7. Can we get the opening goal, though? That is the question. Second period, also scoreless. The defensive battle, the goaltending duel continues. 27 shots to 15. Yet we find ourselves deadlocked. Scoreless. It's not scoreless. 0-0 is a score. Shut it. Third period, let's go. The next goal could be the only goal, and it could very well be the game winner as that power play opportunity passes us by. We're halfway through the third. It's looking more and more likely that the next goal will be the winner. Under 3 minutes to go. Are we going to overtime? Yes, we are. We have another overtime game here in Game 4. It's a chance to take a commanding 3-1 series lead back home with us for Game 5, or the Capitals will tie this series at 2 games, in which from there it might as well be a best of 3. We have 1 overtime victory in this series thus far. Can we make it 2? As the Caps have the early puck advantage. Ferk recovers after the puck was deflected around the back. Ferk again in front, and a big save from Timmins. Hughes finds Besser. 2-on-2 rush here for the Jackets. Besser steps in, loses it for a moment, recovers, finds Hughes as the shot's interrupted. Jack Hughes finds Tkachuk battling through traffic, and a big save there from DiPietro. Besser for Hughes, and another save from DiPietro. Tkachuk recovers, pass to the points deflected, McAvoy finds it. Back for Tkachuk, over for Hughes, and he can't settle it down. McKinnon is there. Here come the Caps. Ritchie, big glove save for Timmins. That was a very weird shot. Looked like it was certainly going short side. It did not. Ryan Pulock, 5 assists so far in the series. Second line v second line. Adrian Redmond, Casey Middlestat, and Oliver Wahlstrom against Dylan Larkin, Nick Schmaltz, and Cole Lind. And while it's technically a victory for the Jackets, Washington gets an opportunity. Now here's Roger Reimer on the breakout. Not known for his offense. Reimer's shot deflected on goal. As he takes the shot, DiPietro will cover. Scoreless heading into overtime. I talked about DiPietro's ability to steal this series, and while I certainly didn't expect this, again, I'm not surprised, but how could you have expected this loose puck? Theodore recovers. Here's Larkin. A 2-on-2 rush for the Caps. Larkin loses it on the deke, finds Theodore. Shea Theodore carries low, finds Schmaltz back in front for Theodore. He can't get the shot off. Lind, now Larkin, big save from Timmins. Lind recovered for a moment and can't put it clear on net. Reimer finds Wahlstrom. He brings it to the neutral zone, drops back for Middlestat. Quinn Hughes, back for Wahlstrom. Middlestat again. Too much traffic in front for the Jackets to do anything. Quinn Hughes tries to drop it back for Wahlstrom. Hughes recovers. Middlestat. Now Wahlstrom again. Jackets desperately trying to find space, and Wahlstrom is tripped. The Jackets will go to the power play perhaps. Here's Redmond. Reimer. Pitt for Wahlstrom, and a big save from DiPietro. But the biggest opportunity presents itself. Pulock goes to the box, and it is a power play opportunity. That was weird. Was that called tripping? Looked like he tried to hit him. Don't know what the hell that is. But what I do know is that we have a power play opportunity here. Tkachuk, Hughes, and Besser are out against Larkin and Henrique. And it's a defensive zone draw victory for the Caps as Ristolainen clears. Giving chase, a battle for it behind the back of the net. Here's Tkachuk. Brock Besser now through the neutral zone. Looking for space, takes the quick shot, saved by DiPietro. Hughes for Besser, and he completely fans on it. Chalowski finds the breakout pass. It's dumped in yet again, cut off behind the back of the net by Timmins. Werenski for Jack Hughes. Stepping in, tries to find Besser. It's broken up. It still gets there. It's Hughes again. Quick shot, saved by DiPietro. Hughes loses it on a battle behind. Chalowski tries to clear. Tkachuk just misses out on holding the line. Here we go again. Through the zone. Ristolainen breaks it up. Here's Larkin. And now Henrique. And he'll dump it in as well. Stop behind the back. 1 minute to go in this power play. Breakout pass for Jack Hughes. He's still out there. He gets off now. Here's Tkachuk. Drops back for Rintoul. In front, and a big save. The biggest save of this game from Michael DiPietro. Rintoul, perhaps controversially on the power play because of that 92 offensive awareness. Quick shot from Middlestat is blocked. Not blocked, denied. As Thompson clears it. 33 seconds to go. in the power play. Quinn Hughes tries the quick pass, lazily intercepted. Loose puck, Fleury loses it. A weird line change. Middlestat finally recovers with 20 seconds to go. In front for Wahlstrom. Can't get out in front of it. The net is off its moorings. The story of this overtime so far, the effort of Michael DiPietro. Look at the white ice there. So far out of his crease to play that slap shot from Middlestat. As we are still awaiting the first goal of this game. Paling, Middlestat, and Wahlstrom are out against a tired Larkin and Henrique. 16 seconds left in the power play, and it's a face-off victory for the Jackets. Ryan Paling looking, drops back for McAvoy. Wahlstrom and now Hughes back again for McAvoy. D-to-D passes here. Hughes for Middlestat, steps in and can't get DiPietro off the post. The power play is over. McAvoy takes a hit, gets it back. Quick movement from the Blue Jackets. Here's Paling, quick shot. Rebound opportunity is interrupted. Not sure who number 4 is, but that was a big-time play to make contact on that shot. We're halfway through this overtime. And Michael DiPietro doing everything he can to keep the Capitals in it. He has had an incredible series. Fourth line v first line. Parks, Frederick, and Yandel are out against Ritchie, McKinnon, and Ferk, and it's an offensive zone draw win there. Ritchie, though, recovers the puck, finds Martin Ferk. He's alone, trying to wait for help. McKinnon, back to the point, it's Theodore, over now, Pulock, and back again. Theodore shot, deflects, loose puck, and Martin Ferk. Timmins with the poor rebound control on the deflection. And I believe it was Ferk. Hayden Fleury was number 4 for the record. I believe it was Ferk who was able to find the rebound and jam it home. The deflection in front by Ferk, and then he's able to spin out, recover, and bury the rebound. An attempted puck cover from Timmins. He could not get it. And with that, the Washington Capitals take Game 4, and we have ourselves a series now, don't we? Unfortunately, not quite going to be a walk in the park. Michael DiPietro, what an incredible effort from him. And again, it comes down to a mistake from Timmins that Ferk makes him pay for. 1-0 final in Game 4. It's a best of 3 from this point on. And that is why I didn't want to get too excited when we were up 2-1. We have seen this story before, 48 shots to 25, and we lose 1-0. We've seen this play out so many times. It's not over until it's over. So in terms of the over-the-top dramatic reactions, I tend to keep myself composed. You know, keep those reactions contained, because at any time you can be made to look like a fool as Cleveland wins Game 4 in overtime to keep their season alive. And Game 5 seems like as good a time as any to potentially make some changes, as 3 out of 4 Western Conference matchups are at 3-1. Let's take a look here, and again, it just hasn't been good enough. Really hasn't been. I'm going to flip the left wings on these lines, and I'm going to flip Wahlstrom and Besser just to get different looks. And then defensively, that third pairing's gotten roughed up a bit. Just a bit, though. I'm going to give them a chance to recover. I'm just going to settle for changing the offensive lines, try to spark things. It's an 85 overall goaltender. You'd like to think we'd be able to get to him. We couldn't in Game 4, as frustrating as that is. Let's hope the Game 5, back on home ice, is a different story. Let's see what we can do. Let's jump right into it. First period, and Glebov gets the opening goal under 4 minutes in. Just over 3.5. 3:35 to be exact. About even in shots. Difference maker, though, is Glebov thus far. Second period, and that is what we needed. Tkachuk, Besser, and Greenway with the goals. Tied at 23 shots apiece. Very much not tied on the scoreboard, though. 3-1 in favor of the Blue Jackets. That is exactly what we needed as we head into the third period. Early power play opportunity. A goal here would be great. That will not be the case. So we wait nervously as we're halfway through the third period to see if the Capitals can stage a late comeback. Under 5 to go. Don't unclench just yet. A late comeback could still be on the horizon or not. Off the back of a dominant second period, we have taken a 3-2 series lead. We get to DiPietro in this game. Tkachuk, Besser, and Greenway, 2 out of 3. Absolutely players that you would expect to step up. And then, of course, Jordan Greenway has been one of the better bottom 6 guys for us. Besser was actually a second star and a first star effort from Timmins. Greenway's been a pretty damn good pickup for us, and it paid off there. We are trading wins and losses. We have a chance to end things in Game 6, but before then, the Cleveland Monsters have a chance to end things. It's going to the decisive Game 5 against the Manitoba Moose. Let's see how it all goes down. A goal apiece, McCabe and Nolan Stevens. Second period, Nolan Stevens again. We're going to hit the button here. Third period, can the Cleveland Monsters move on? Yes, they can. Novak with the goal. 3-1 final, and the Monsters are moving on to round 2. Hopefully, a sign of things to come for the NHL squad. So their series will start immediately. They're playing the St. Louis Notes. Game 6. Can we end things here against the Capitals? Right here and right now. First period, and that's not an ideal start, but it's not terrible. I mean, Brock Besser scores. 12 seconds later, Perrant ties it. Not ideal. 13 shots to 10, tied at 1 apiece. Second period, that's better. Yandel stepping up in a big-time way so far this postseason. 22 shots to 18, 2-1 on the board. Are we 20 minutes away from sealing our spot in the second round? Here we go. 5 minutes down, and Tkachuk makes it 3. Composure. Don't get too overhyped. There's still way too much time. 6.5. Can the Blue Jackets hold on and go to the second round? McAvoy with the empty netter. And the Columbus Blue Jackets avoid completely blowing it, at the very least, in the first round. We're on to round 2, which really is what you would expect after the season that we had, but was hardly a guarantee with the way Michael DiPietro and the Washington Capitals played that series. I will take it, though. A win is a win. We are moving on. 3 points for Tkachuk, only 2 points for Jack Hughes, and only 2 points for Oliver Wahlstrom. I want to show you guys the point totals because it might be worth shaking things up again. 2 points for Greenway, 2 points for Middlestat, 5 points for Brock Besser, including 3 goals. Is he starting to win you over? Is this enough, or does he need to continue this, potentially to a deep playoff run? That is the question. Paling, very surprisingly, with the lone point. And then Stuart Yandel had a tremendous first round. Might be worth bumping him up, in all honesty. There's definitely some decisions that could be made lineup-wise. As long as Brent Timmins wants to continue playing like that, we have a chance against any team that we come up against. That is tremendous. And of course, not to mention, Kaliev and Farabee are still healthy scratches in case somebody decides to underperform to an extreme level. With that, let's find out who we are playing in the next round. Of course, the Cleveland Monsters will be beginning their second round series against St. Louis. We'll follow along there as they drop game 1 4-3. And we know who we're playing in the next round. Who's it gonna be? 3, 2, 1. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. Unfortunately, as well, Cleveland's lost the first 2 games to begin. We have home ice advantage. They won their first round matchup in 5 games. So it is set. We went through Washington, and now, of course, if you want to make it through the Metro, you have to go through Pittsburgh as well. They beat the Islanders in 5. So it's Columbus and Pittsburgh, Boston and Florida, in the West, St. Louis, Nashville, Edmonton, and Minnesota. And that will do it for this one. The stage is set. I look forward to seeing the reaction, not only for this, but again, suggestions for line combos, and your opinion at this moment on Brock Besser, the video game character, as opposed to the real guy who has amazing hair, which is just, I mean, that's an undeniable fact. So until next time, thank you guys very much for watching. Support the video by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and clicking the bell, because why not? Yeah, hashtag YouTube crap. If iDubbbz can have Kickstarter crap, I'm sure no one's taking YouTube crap at this point in time. There's no way. Although technically I suppose you could call Content Cops YouTube crap. What I'm saying is I'm going to become an iDubbbz parody channel. Just with a lot less... You know what? Actually, I can't even say a lot less profanity. A lot less racially based profanity. And other slurs. There'll be a lot of son of a bitches, though. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this. Other than to the second round of the playoffs. Bam, thank you very much. Good night. The Kings still got it.